Hey there, awesome accounting student. Mark Franke here. This is a video for Accounting 101, Chapter 5, where we're going to use problem 5.1b to illustrate the cost flow assumptions, FIFO, LIFO, average, and specific identification. This problem is in your book. And it's on page 227. This is problem 5.1b. So the first thing they've asked us to do is to kind of put together the facts. In this case, we have inventory. These are inventory items that cost $3,000 to $4,800. These are high ticket items. Maybe it's a jet ski or something like that we had to buy, and then we're going to sell. In fact, we're going to sell them at a pretty substantial markup. We're selling them for $12,000 and $14,000. We'll get to that. But anyway, if you take the facts in the book, what's happened is we started with 20 items, a quantity of 20 that we paid $3,000 each for, which is $60,000. That's our beginning inventory. At the beginning of the month, this is what we had in stock. On April the 6th, we bought 30, and we paid $3,500 for those. So that cost is $105,000. Then on the 17th of April, we bought 5 more. That's $4,500, which is $22,500. And then towards the end of the month, on the 25th of April, we bought 10. We paid $4,800. And you can see, of course, this is serious inflation going on here, because the price went from $3,000 at the beginning to $4,800 at the end. That is probably not realistic to think this would happen, but this is a textbook problem, and so that's okay. So if we roll forward the inventory, we started with 20 units in stock. We bought 30 plus 5 plus 10. So we bought 45 during the month. And then we sold on April the 9th, 35, and on April the 30th, we sold 25. So our ending balance in units is 5. In other words, at the end of the month, we had 5 were in stock. Our job now is to figure out what the cost of goods sold was and what the cost is in ending inventory. And so we are going to compare these 4 methods, FIFO, LIFO, average, and specific identification, and put them on a spreadsheet I've got on the front, the first page of the worksheets. And so the first thing that we will do is calculate sales. So we had 2 sales during the month. On the 9th of April, we sold 35, and we sold them for $12,000. This is the selling price. And on the 30th of April, we sold 25 at $14,000. So that means that our sales are $70,000, and we sold a total of 60 units. 20 at the beginning, we bought 45, we sold 60, so we have 5 in stock. And we're going to then schedule out the FIFO, LIFO, weighted average, and specific identification cost flow assumptions, and then plug the numbers in here and compare. So let's get started with the FIFO. I've set up some worksheets that I've already put the beginning inventory in, and I've put in the first purchase. So we had 20 at the beginning at 3,000 for a total cost of 60,000. And then on the 6th of April, we bought 30 more at 3,500, and which is 105. So when we add these together, we get $165,000 in our inventory. So the first set of columns is for what we bought, the second set of columns is for what we sold, and the third set of columns is what we have remaining in stock. Then on April the 9th, we sold 35. April the 9th, we sold 35. So we have April the 9th, and we sold all of the beginning. We're using FIFO. We sold all the ones we had there at the beginning for a total cost of 60,000, and then we sold 15 of the next tier, 15 of the items that we bought on the 6th of April. So our total cost of goods sold for this sale of 35 units is $112,500. And so we now have in stock 15, the other half of the ones we bought on the 6th of April. And those cost us $3,500. So our inventory now is $52,500. This is a perpetual inventory system. Perpetual inventory system means that we're keeping track of things as we go, and we're relieving inventory when we sell something. We learned about a perpetual inventory system in Chapter 4, so we're just continuing on that discussion. Then we made actually 2 purchases before we sold any more. On the 17th of April, we bought 5 at 4,500, and on the 25th of April, we bought 10 at 4,800. Those were really expensive, which means that after those purchases, we had 15 at 3,500. These are the ones left over from April the 6th. And then we had the 5 and the 10 at 4,500 and 4,800. So our total inventory at that moment is $123,000, and right now in stock we have 30. And then on April the 30th, we sold 25 more. So the 25 we sold, again, we're using a FIFO, is the 15 at 3,500. We sold 5 at 4,500, so that's 20. So we sold 5 of the last group, the April 25th stock. So our cost of goods sold for this sale is $99,000. So if I add the $99,000 plus the $112,000, our total cost of goods sold is $211,500. $211,500. And this again should be the 60, and it is. And so what's left in stock at the end of the month is 5 at 4,800, which is $24,000. So we can go to our summary schedule and plug in the cost of goods sold of $211,500, which means our gross profit is $558,400, 500. And our beginning inventory, just to roll forward this, is 60,000. The purchases amount is the 105 plus the 22.5 plus the 48,000. And our cost of goods sold is the 211,500, which means that our ending inventory is 24,000, and that matches our schedule, so we're cool to move on to LIFO. So let's do LIFO. We're going to start in the exact same place, the beginning inventory plus what we bought. But this time, when we do LIFO, we're going to be selling the most recent items we bought rather than the oldest items. So that is what LIFO means. So on April the 9th, when we made our first sale, okay, we sold 35, which means we're selling all of the ones we bought at 3,500. We're selling then 5 of the ones that were in stock at the beginning of the month. So in this case, our cost of goods sold is 120,000 for those 35 that we sold. And our ending inventory is 15. We had 50. We sold 35. That means we have 15 of the oldest items in stock. Okay, I'm going to stop the video. I want you to complete this LIFO schedule, get the numbers, and then I'll be right back with the answer and you can compare. Okay, so through the magic of video, here is the completed LIFO schedule. Check your numbers. If you have different numbers, you can pause the video and fix it so that you know how it works. But basically, we're selling the newest items first. So in that April 30th sale, we sold 10 at 4,800, 5 at 4,500, and 10 at 3,000. And then the ending inventory is 5. These are still 5 of the items that were there at the beginning of the month. We never sold them. And so we can update our summary schedule for LIFO. Beginning inventory is going to be the same. Purchases is going to be the same. Cost of goods sold is 220,500. So gross profit in this case is 549,500, and we can then subtract that cost of goods sold. So our ending inventory was 15,000, which is the 5 items at 3,000. Weighted average. What's going to happen here is we're going to calculate an average every time we buy more. So in this case, same facts to start with, but what I'm going to do is calculate the average because, and this is where it's going to go. So we currently, after our first purchase, have 50 in stock that we paid 165,000 for. So I'm going to take the 165,000 and divide it by the quantity of 50, and so our average is 3,300. So now when we sell on April the 9th, we're going to sell 35 at 3,300, which is our average, and our ending balance is going to be 15 at 3,300. Or 49,500. That's what's left in stock after this sale. Then we bought some more on the 17th and the 25th. I'll just go over here and copy these and bring them in. You can write them in. So now in stock we had the 15 with an average cost of 3,300. We have 5 at 4,500 and 10 at 4,800, which means our total at that moment is 120,000, and that is for 30 items in stock. So I'm going to calculate the average by taking the 120,000, dividing it by 30 units, and I get an average cost of $4,000. So when we sold the 25 units on April the 9th, we sold them at a cost, an average cost of $4,000, which means that cost of goods sold on that sale would be $100,000, and total cost of goods sold is $215,500 for the 60 items that got sold. And in stock at the end is 5 at the $4,000 level. That's our average cost, which means that our ending inventory is $20,000 or 5 units. So we can update our summary schedule. Again, this is going to be the same. The only thing that changes is cost of goods sold. That is now $215,500. So our gross profit is $554,500, and the ending inventory is $20,000. So you can see in an inflationary environment, FIFO is going to have the highest gross profit, LIFO is going to have the lowest gross profit, and the weighted average is going to be somewhere in the middle. Now, for specific identification, they told us in the book specifically which ones were sold. And so I've prepared a schedule that says, okay, on the 9th when we sold 35, we sold 8 of the $3,000 ones, and we sold 27 of the $3,500 ones, which is a gross profit of $118,500. On the 30th of April, we sold 12 at $3,000. We sold 3 at $3,500, and we sold 10 at $4,800, which is all of those. So our cost of goods sold for that sale was $94,500. Total cost of goods sold for the month was $213,000, and the only ones left in stock, because we sold all 20 of the 3,000, we sold 30 of the 3,500, and we sold 10 of the 4,800. We never sold any of the ones that cost us 4,500. So those are the 5 that are in stock at the end of the month. We go to our summary schedule, and we had 60,000 at the beginning. We bought 175. Our cost of goods sold using a specific identification is 213. So our gross profit is 557,000, and our ending inventory is 22,500, which matches our schedule of 22,500, that we have in stock at the end of the month. So here is our summary schedule with all these numbers. Hopefully you can follow this. Prepare the schedules, submit them for some points on this video, but use this, and I would do it over and over again, and use it for preparing the problems in Chapter 5, because they go exactly the same process. We've got 4 methods: FIFO, LIFO, average or weighted average, and the specific identification. So that's it for this video. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.